Hey guys, I I talked myself out of this live like 15 different times, and yeah, so I just had to push the live button and not give myself an out. But today I made a lot of notes today about what I want to talk about, because I'm going to talk about out loud and not to like a friend or my family, like out loud for a lot of people to consume and hear, which is good, but also terrifying. Today is National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. I will cry. I'm already crying. But I felt like it was super important for me to share, because I don't feel like a lot of talk happens about this in a really helpful and productive way. I think sometimes, and I do it, where I get lost in my own grief and pain, where instead of reaching out a hand and comforting others. So I thought that I would come on, and if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading. Otherwise, I think I'll get off on a big tangent. But so yes, I don't talk about this to say woe is me, or have pity on me, or have anybody say I'm sorry for your loss, because that's not productive to anyone. I end up sitting in that pain, and what am I doing to heal from it and grow from it? So that's not why I'm on here talking about this. I talk about it to let other women and men who have either walked through a miscarriage or have watched their spouse walk through a miscarriage, to let them know that they are not alone. Their story is unique to them, and that is what shapes them as a person, but the grief is the same. I do want to say, if you've ever had a miscarriage or lost an infant, please don't hesitate to reach out to somebody, whether it's me or someone that you trust. You're not alone in walking through it, and to not talk about it with someone, you're taking on such a big burden that will never get lighter unless you talk about it. And for those of you who have not experienced a miscarriage, I want to encourage you to, whenever you find out that a friend has experienced a miscarriage, to reach out to them, and not reach out to them saying, is there anything I can do for you? Because as somebody who is grieved, I can't answer that question. People who are in a very sad state can't answer an open-ended question like that. But what they can answer is a yes or no question. If you call them up and say, can I bring you a meal? Can I bring you a cup of coffee? Can I bring you over your favorite movie and just sit with you? Just a yes or no question, because we can't think. We can't sit there and process through that. We're processing through something that is really difficult, or trying to avoid processing through it. So call them up, ask them a yes or no question. Don't give them an open-ended question. That's one of the best things you can do, in my opinion, for somebody who is walking through grief like this. So I know that some of you know that I have had a miscarriage, but when I did, I wrote about it 2 days after, and I don't remember editing it because I didn't feel that I needed to, because I wanted what I was feeling right then and there to come out. So I've only written these words down. I actually don't think that I've read them since I published it more than 2 years ago. But I wanted to read it to you today because telling you how I feel about it isn't productive, because I'm gonna say that I'm angry about it. I'm gonna say, why couldn't I have had this baby with me now? Who would be 2 years old, by the way. But what I did feel was productive for healing for me was to, oh Lord, I'm an ugly crier, so I'm gonna try not to get past this point. Was for me to write about my miscarriage from the perspective of my child. So I wrote a letter of what I thought that my child would say to me when we get the chance to talk. So this is why I talked myself out of this like 15 times. All right. So this is a letter from the perspective of my child who I lost. I want to start off by saying that I love you. Without you, Dad, and the grace of God, I never would have been able to come into being. I was a miracle. And even though my time with you was short, it was the best experience on earth I could have ever asked for. You cared for me, and you loved me. And I will always be grateful. I was there when you shared with the family that I would be a new addition to our family unit. I was there when you all celebrated Valentine's Day together. I really liked the Chinese food. I was there when you and Dad got a bigger vehicle so that everyone, including the dog, could fit in one car. I was there when you went to sleep at night so we could snuggle, and I was there in the morning when you needed to start your day. I will cherish every experience we had together. At the beginning of my short time on this earthly world, you were the one who cared for me, the one who looked after me, the one who loved me. You were my world. I want you to know that I did not leave you because I did not like you. I left because God had other plans. He needed me by his side much sooner than any of us could have anticipated. I was never meant to have a full life on earth, but the time I did have was magical. God took me early to protect you. He loves you more than you can imagine. Sometimes when God protects you from harm, it hurts, but not nearly as much as if he let you fall on your own. I promise in time you will see his goodness and grace. I also want to thank you for the cool name, Spark. I love that you and Dad came up with that name. I think it suits me quite well. My time on earth
may have felt like the length of an actual spark emitting from a fire, but all it takes is a little bit of effort to get me back. I will always be the trace of an intense feeling and memory within you. I will always be there for you. All you have to do is remember. One day we will meet again, and I will get to hold you like I never could on earth. One day I will kiss you like I never could on earth. One day I will get to see you, touch you, laugh with you, smile with you, walk with you, and cry with you. I look forward to that day with all my heart and soul. Keep your chin up, Mom. You are the strongest person I know. Please remember that you will always be my mom, and I will always cherish you. And I will always love you. Love, your Spark. So that's why I haven't read it since I wrote it, because this happens. But I just feel that this day is hard, and Spark's due date is hard, and Mother's Day is hard. Mother's Day is doesn't have any joy right now. But it's so important to talk about it in a productive way. In a way that shows someone else who has walked through a miscarriage, it shows them that their grief, that I understand it, and many other women understand it, and that we're here to help you walk through it, because that is a very, very heavy burden to carry on your own, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't carry it on your own. And this past Mother's Day, I wrote a letter on my blog to mothers who have experienced a miscarriage, and I don't want to read you the whole thing because you can go on the blog, and I'll post the link in the description so that you can read it. But part of it says, let's hug another grieving mother and tell her that it will be okay, and praise Jesus for the moments we got to share for our children before they went to heaven to be in his presence. I am still in awe sometimes that he chose me to care for Spark for the time he or she was here on earth. What a privilege. We are both extremely blessed to care for our children, whether they are here with us or somewhere else. You are an incredible mother, a strong mother, a mother that has been asked to walk through one of the most difficult things known to man. I am honored to call you my friend and know that you will continue to walk through life with grace and compassion. I love you, and please know that I'm praying for you. And that prayer never stops. That prayer is daily. So if this day is particularly hard for you, National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, just know that you are not grieving alone, and that there are other women who have their hand out, who are ready to help you walk through it. And don't discount also the struggle that men go through. That was something that Michael and I had to learn, because as the one who actually physically went through it, it was hard for me to connect with him on that, because I didn't feel like he really knew. But that's not true. So if there's a dad, a husband who has seen their spouse go through it, this is a hard day for you too. You may not show it in the same way, but it's a hard day for you too. So don't try and carry the burden by yourself. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. So I just want to encourage you that if you have gone through a miscarriage, I am here, or talk to somebody who you trust in your life. People love you, and they want to help you. And if you have seen somebody walk through it but have not actually gone through it yourself, bring them over some food, watch a funny movie with them, bring a cup of coffee over and just sit with them. They don't want you to fix the problem or the thing that happened, because in that moment you can't fix anything. What they want is someone to just be there with them. They just want some company. So just be there. So I hope that I didn't scare you with all my ugly crying. And just know that I'm praying for you and that you are loved.